What if I told you one unknown singer saved a dying rock band in a single night? Not in a stadium, not on television. In a tiny San Francisco club most people today have never even heard of. And the craziest part is almost nobody in the crowd realized they were watching rock history happen in real time. By the mid-1970s, Journey was in trouble. The band had been formed by former members of Santana and Frumious Bandersnatch. On paper, they looked unstoppable. Neil Schon was already respected as a guitar prodigy. Greg Rowley had played Woodstock with Santana. The musicianship was incredible. But there was one huge problem. Nobody outside serious rock fans was buying the records. Journey's early albums were packed with long instrumental sections, progressive rock structures, and jazz influences. Critics respected them, musicians loved them. Average listeners were confused. Meanwhile, bands like Boston and Foreigner were dominating radio with huge choruses and cleaner hooks. Columbia Records looked at Journey and saw unrealized potential. They believed the band had talent, but no identity people could connect with. Then the pressure started building. The label wanted hits. The band wanted artistic freedom. Some members resisted changing their sound. Others realized something uncomfortable. If they kept going the same direction, there might not be a band left. At the exact same time, Journey was struggling. Steve Perry was close to giving up on music completely. Perry grew up in Hanford, California. He spent years jumping between small bands, recording demos, and chasing opportunities that never quite happened. One of his most promising groups, Alien Project, collapsed after the bassist died in a car crash. The loss devastated him. For a while, Perry thought the dream was over. Then everything changed because of one demo tape. Journey's manager heard Perry sing and immediately noticed something different. The voice was massive, smooth, emotional, and powerful at the same time. He could hit soaring notes without sounding forced. The band agreed to audition him. Now, imagine walking into that room, a struggling band full of elite musicians, a record label demanding success, fans already skeptical about change, and a singer nobody had heard of trying to become the frontman overnight. But the moment Perry started singing, the atmosphere changed instantly. Years later, Neil Schon admitted the reaction was immediate. They knew right away this was the missing piece. And here's where it gets wild. Steve Perry was not just changing Journey's sound, he was about to transform them into one of the biggest rock bands in the world. Steve Perry's first show with Journey was not in some giant arena packed with screaming fans. It happened at the Old Waldorf in San Francisco, a small club that held only a few hundred people. Most of the audience expected the same Journey they already knew. Long jams, technical solos. Greg Rowley singing lead. Instead, a skinny dark-haired singer walked onto the stage holding a microphone like his entire future depended on it. Because honestly, it did. Perry was terrified backstage. He knew hardcore fans might reject him immediately. Journey already had an identity, even if it was not selling records. Replacing the frontman could have destroyed the band completely. Then, the lights dropped. Neil Schon hit the opening guitar line for Lights.
And the sun shines on the bed.
And suddenly, everything changed. The second Perry started singing, conversations stopped across the room. People literally turned around trying to figure out who the voice belonged to. It did not sound like the old Journey. It sounded bigger, cleaner, emotional. Like the band had suddenly discovered something they did not even know they were missing. And let me tell you this, Perry was not just hitting notes, he was pulling people into the songs. Neil Schon's guitar finally had a voice powerful enough to match it. Greg Rowley's harmonies wrapped around Perry's vocals perfectly. For the first time, Journey sounded less like a jam band and more like a real arena rock group. By the middle of the set, even skeptical fans were leaning forward watching closely. Then came Wheel in the Sky. Perry attacked the chorus with so much power, the entire room exploded. People who had never heard him before started cheering before the song even ended. According to people there, the energy inside the club completely shifted. It no longer felt like a small local concert. It felt like the beginning of something huge. Word spread fast after the show. Local music fans started talking about Journey's new singer almost immediately. Columbia Records executives finally heard what they had been waiting for. Journey suddenly sounded commercial without losing the musicianship that made them unique, and that was the key. They had finally found balance. Not long after the performance, the band rushed into the studio to record the album that would change everything, Infinity.
In my city. Oh.
Producer Roy Thomas Baker, famous for working with Queen, helped sharpen the band's sound. The long, progressive jams became tighter. The hooks became bigger. Perry pushed the group toward emotional melodies instead of endless solos. Some longtime fans hated the shift at first, but the general public loved it. When Infinity released in 1978, Journey finally broke through. Lights became a radio hit. Wheel in the Sky exploded nationwide. The album went platinum.
Out on the road without you. Wheel in the sky keeps on turning.
And completely transformed the band's future. But what nobody realized yet was this was only the warm-up. Because just a few years later, Journey would create a song so massive it would outlive almost every rock anthem from the 1980s. And somehow, that song almost never happened. By 1981, Journey was no longer fighting to survive. Now they were fighting to become massive. The band had already scored huge success with Infinity and Departure. But Steve Perry, Neil Schon, and new keyboardist Jonathan Cain believed they could go even bigger. Arena rock was exploding across America. Bands were filling stadiums every night. Record labels wanted giant choruses people could scream back from the cheap seats. Journey was ready to deliver exactly that. But what happened next turned them from successful into legendary. Jonathan Cain joined the band after leaving the Babies. During rehearsals, he mentioned a phrase his father used to tell him whenever things got difficult. Don't stop believing. Simple advice, nothing fancy. But Steve Perry immediately felt the power behind those words. The band started building a song around the phrase. Neil Schon created the guitar melody. Cain added the now famous piano intro. Perry began writing lyrics inspired by people chasing dreams in big cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco. And here's where it gets wild. The structure of the song made almost no sense for a radio hit. Most hit songs throw the chorus at listeners immediately. Don't Stop Believin' does the opposite. The chorus barely appears until the very end. For almost 4 minutes, the song keeps building tension without fully releasing it. That was risky. Radio executives usually hated slow builds like that because they thought listeners would change the station before the payoff arrived. Journey ignored them. Inside the studio, Perry became obsessed with getting every vocal perfect. He wanted the verses to sound personal, almost cinematic. When he sang about streetlight people, he delivered it like he actually knew them, and people believed him. When Escape released in 1981, the album exploded. Don't Stop Believin', Open Arms, Who's Crying Now, and Stone in Love turned Journey into one of the biggest bands on earth. The album hit #1 on Billboard and sold millions of copies worldwide. But strangely, Don't Stop Believin' was not even the band's highest charting single at first. It only reached #9. You thought that was big? Try this. Over the next few decades, the song somehow became even larger than it was during its original release. It showed up everywhere: sports stadiums, movies, karaoke bars, television finales. Then came The Sopranos. The final scene of the series used Don't Stop Believin' in a way nobody expected. Millions of viewers immediately rushed to download the song again. Years later, Glee introduced it to an entirely new generation. By the 2000s, the song was practically unavoidable. It eventually became one of the best-selling digital tracks in music history and was added to the National Recording Registry by the Library of Congress. Not bad for a song radio programmers originally doubted. But behind all the success, massive tours, and timeless songs, Steve Perry was carrying pressure nobody really saw coming. Because while Journey looked unstoppable from the outside, cracks inside the band were already starting to grow. And eventually, those cracks would explode. By the mid-1980s, Journey looked untouchable. Every tour was massive. Every album sold millions. Steve Perry's voice had become one of the most recognizable sounds in rock music. Fans packed arenas, singing every word back to the band. From the outside, it looked perfect. But behind the scenes, things were getting complicated fast. Success changed the chemistry. The band members were pulling in different directions creatively. Neil Schon wanted heavier rock songs. Steve Perry leaned more toward emotional melodies and polished production. Jonathan Cain was becoming a major songwriter too, which shifted the balance even more. And then there was the exhaustion. Journey had spent years moving non-stop. Recording albums, flying city to city, playing gigantic shows night after night. The schedule was brutal. At one point, Perry admitted he was physically and emotionally drained from constantly performing at such a high level. But wait, because this next part changed the band forever. In 1986, Journey released Raised on Radio. The album was a huge commercial success. Songs like Be Good to Yourself, I'll Be Alright Without You, and Suzanne dominated radio. But internally, the project created serious tension. Steve Perry had taken more creative control than ever before. Some members felt pushed aside during recording sessions. Drummer Steve Smith and bassist Ross Valerie were eventually removed from the lineup during the album's production. Fans noticed something felt different. Journey still sounded huge, but the unity that once defined the band was starting to disappear. Then the tour began. At first, everything looked normal. Sold-out crowds, giant arenas, fans screaming every lyric. But Perry was struggling badly with fatigue. His voice was still incredible, but the non-stop pressure was wearing him down physically. And honestly, it makes sense. Imagine trying to sing songs like Open Arms and Faithfully Perfectly every night for years straight. Most singers would completely destroy their voices attempting that. Perry pushed through anyway. But after the tour ended, something shocking happened. Journey basically stopped. No dramatic breakup announcement. No giant public fight. The band simply faded into silence. Perry stepped away from music almost entirely. Fans were confused. One of the biggest rock bands in the world had suddenly disappeared. And here is where it gets really crazy. While Journey vanished during the late 1980s and early 90s, their music somehow became even more popular. Songs like Don't Stop Believin' and Faithfully never left radio rotation. Younger audiences kept discovering them through movies, television, and sports events. The band's catalog aged incredibly well, while many of their contemporaries faded away. Then, in 1996, Journey reunited for the album Trial by Fire. In my song, I'll sing a prayer. Fans were ecstatic. The single When You Love a Woman became a major hit and even earned a Grammy nomination. It looked like Journey was finally back for good, but behind the scenes, disaster was already building again. Steve Perry suffered a serious hip injury while hiking in Hawaii. Doctors told him he needed surgery. Perry hesitated. He wanted to avoid rushing into an operation. The rest of the band wanted to tour immediately. That disagreement turned into a breaking point, and the decision Perry made next would completely change Journey forever. The band gave Steve Perry an ultimatum: get the hip surgery and commit to touring, or Journey would move on without him. Perry hesitated. Part of it was fear. Hip replacement surgery in the late 1990s was a serious decision, especially for someone whose entire career depended on movement and performance. But the delay frustrated the rest of the band. They had momentum again after Trial by Fire, and they did not want to lose it sitting around waiting. Eventually, Journey made the decision themselves. In 1998, Steve Perry was out. For fans, it felt impossible to imagine Journey without the voice that defined them. Perry had not just sung the songs, he was the emotional center of the band. That soaring sound on Faithfully Separate Ways and Don't Stop Believin' was Journey to millions of people. Replacing him sounded almost ridiculous. But Journey kept going. First came Steve Augeri, whose voice sounded surprisingly close to Perry's. Fans were divided, but the band managed to survive. They toured heavily and kept the Journey name alive through the 2000s. Then came one of the strangest twists in rock history. In 2007, Neil Schon discovered a Filipino singer on YouTube performing Journey covers with a small band in Manila. His name was Arnel Pineda. And let me tell you this, the story sounds fake until you realize it actually happened. Pineda grew up in extreme poverty. At one point, after his mother died, he was homeless as a teenager and survived by sleeping in public spaces and collecting scrap metal. Music became his escape. He spent years singing in clubs, covering bands like Journey just to survive. Then suddenly, one random YouTube video changed his life forever. Shun could not believe how similar Pineda sounded to Perry. The range, the tone, the energy, it was all there. Journey flew him to America for an audition. And somehow, against all odds, it worked. Fans were skeptical at first. Replacing Steve Perry already felt impossible once. Doing it again with a singer discovered online sounded insane. But Arnel won audiences over quickly with pure effort and raw talent. The comeback shocked the music industry. Journey started selling out arenas again. Their tours became massive nostalgia events filled with fans across multiple generations. Younger audiences discovered the songs through streaming, while older fans returned for the memories. And through all of it, Steve Perry remained the ghost hanging over the band. For years, rumors about reunions exploded constantly. Every interview sparked speculation. Every public appearance created headlines. Fans desperately wanted to see Perry back with Journey one more time. Sometimes the relationship seemed to thaw. Other times it sounded completely broken. But regardless of who stood at the microphone, one thing never changed. Those songs survived everything. Band drama, lineup changes, decades of shifting music trends. Because the moment Steve Perry walked onto that stage at the Old Waldorf, Journey stopped being just another struggling rock band. They became part of music history, and somehow, nearly 50 years later, people are still screaming every word right back at them. Years after leaving Journey, Steve Perry became one of rock music's biggest mysteries. He almost disappeared completely. No major tours, almost no interviews, very few public appearances. Fans spent years wondering the same thing. Would he ever come back? And honestly, it did not make sense. This was the voice behind some of the biggest rock songs ever made. A singer whose music still played constantly on radio stations across America. Yet Perry lived quietly, far away from the spotlight that once followed him everywhere. Then people started noticing something strange. Even without releasing new music, Steve Perry's legacy kept getting bigger. Don't Stop Believin' became a cultural monster. By the 2010s, it was everywhere.
Just one more time.
Sporting events, weddings, graduation ceremonies, television shows. The song turned into something larger than classic rock itself. At baseball games, entire stadiums screamed the chorus together. At karaoke bars, people who were not even born during Journey's peak still knew every lyric. And here's where it gets wild. The song eventually crossed 1 billion streams long after the band's original era ended. Very few songs from the 1980s survive that way. Most become nostalgic memories. Don't Stop Believin' somehow became permanent. Even younger artists started praising Perry publicly. Singers from pop, rock, and country all pointed to his voice as one of the greatest ever recorded. Industry professionals constantly talked about his control, tone, and emotional delivery. Because technically, Perry's voice was ridiculous, music producers nicknamed him The Voice for a reason. He could sing with incredible power without sounding strained. His vibrato was smooth, his phrasing felt conversational instead of robotic. Most importantly, he sounded human. That emotional connection made Journey's songs timeless. But what if I told you Steve Perry eventually returned when almost nobody expected it? In 2018, after decades away from mainstream music, Perry released a solo album called Traces. The project was deeply personal. Inspired partly by the loss of Kelly Nash, the woman Perry loved after leaving the spotlight. Her death from cancer changed him completely and pushed him back toward music after years of silence. Fans were stunned. For decades, Perry avoided attention. Suddenly, he was giving interviews again, releasing songs again, and reconnecting with audiences who never stopped caring about him. And despite everything that happened between Perry and Journey, the emotional connection to those songs never disappeared, because at the center of this story was never just fame, it was survival. A struggling band trying not to collapse, a singer on the verge of quitting, one tiny club performance that changed everything, and a catalog of songs that somehow refused to die no matter how many years passed. That is why Steve Perry's story still matters today. Not because Journey sold millions of records, not because they packed arenas, but because nearly 50 years later, people still hear those opening piano notes from Don't Stop Believin' and instantly feel something: hope, nostalgia, escape, possibility, all from one voice that almost never got heard at all.